and welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited to share this with you today. It's a game that I played in the deepest, darkest depths of winter in Berlin one year. And we were all sitting outside and somebody said, we need to play the forest game with you. I said, what's the forest game? Well, I'm going to play the forest game with you all today. It's illuminating, it's magical, depending on what your answers are. And yeah, if you'd like to play along, you can grab a piece of paper or you can just remember your answers. There's not many questions, there's only 5. Note, you can only play this game once. Otherwise, when you next get asked the questions, you know what your answers will be, and you obviously don't want to mess up the game because this is supposed to be your natural answers from when you played the game first. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I want you to shut your eyes and imagine that you are in a forest. What does the forest look like? Okay, so I can see the forest is largely dead. The trees are bare. It's winter. It's very stark. It's very romantic. It's like a Caspar David Friedrich painting. There aren't any living things. It's foggy. It's misty, but it's very beautiful. Okay, so you're making your way through the forest. Is there a particular way that you can see through the forest? Is there a path or is there a clearing, or how are you getting from one end of the forest to the other? No path in particular. No path in particular. Maybe a dirt track, something vaguely demarked, but very much natural and part of the terrain, but almost not there at all. You get to a body of water. Describe the body of water. The water is a dark stream running very quickly, and it seems like a scary thing to cross over. Yeah, I find it quite intimidating. Shortly after encountering the water, you see a structure. What does the structure look like? So the structure is a dirty wooden shack. I'm aware it's there. I'm not particularly interested in going into it. And shortly after the structure, you see a wall of some description or an ending to the forest. How does that look? Describe that wall. So I can see a piece of wall on the side of the path, and I don't really know why it's there, but I do find it quite unnerving. I think it's the fact that I don't know why it's there that I find it really strange. Okay, so hopefully you can remember your answers, but I'm going to deconstruct the answers that I heard just then. I've played this game with many different people, and everyone's been so different and so interesting. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how your answers came off. Okay, so imagine you're in this forest. The forest is supposed to represent how you view the world. So for example, in the interview that we heard just then, her forest was dark, the trees were stark and dead. Maybe it's quite an artistic view of the world. Caspar David Friedrich made an appearance, who's obviously known for his sort of like ghostly natural gothic kind of landscapes. I've played the game with people where their forests are luscious and there are pine trees and there are pine cones on the floor, so maybe something to do with fruit, vivaciousness, and life. I played a game recently with somebody where there were mushrooms growing about, and obviously mushrooms have, well, they have that connotation of sort of magic and fantasy in a way. So you know, that indicates maybe quite a playful sort of look at life. Some people's forests are, you know, very, very damp and there's rain, so the presence of water might indicate something like, it's very symbolic for sexuality. I played it with someone who described it as a video game, so maybe someone that's quite formulaic with their approach to life. What was your forest like, and how do you think yours interprets your way of seeing life? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's an accurate reflection? Have a think and let me know. So we are moving through the forest, and how are we moving through the forest? So this has quite an obvious kind of a symbolism. So this is your path through life, okay? So how are you making your way through life? With the interview we heard just then, this person is making their way through life on a dirt track. So the path is there, that there is a path, but it's not very well demarked, which indicates maybe this person sort of kind of glides through life. Now, I have played this game with people who have a very, very set brick path. Some people have even called it a yellow brick road, which again has a connotation of fantasy and magic. However, both of those two latter answers, a brick path, concrete, or yellow brick road, do suggest that the person has quite a clear way through life. I've played it with people who have fences along each side of the path. So again, that kind of maybe indicates that the person does not want to veer too far off the beaten track, because that is their track, and moving from it would cause them kind of some sort of unsettlement. So it's so clear that it actually has fences next to it. So the dirt track in that interview, indicates maybe a wanderingness, nothing too clear, maybe an opportunistic or chance driven way of moving through life. Whereas, some people's are clearer. What was yours like? And do you think it reflects your way through life, your chosen pathway? So we're moving through the forest and we come to this body of water. The body of water is, in that interview, a fast-moving dark stream. The body of water is supposed to indicate how you view sex and your sort of sexual, your attitude towards it, basically, and how it impacts you. I've played it with people who have huge, beautiful lakes, peaceful, with living animals in there, you know. So maybe there's some link to, I mean, if it's true, if the symbolism's true, maybe there's some link to sort of fertility and life within this lake. Other people have indicated that the lake is frozen over, which obviously says, you know, perhaps there's some sort of initial issue with maybe your confidence in that sense. But they've actually indicated that they break the ice at some point in the interaction with the water. So once the ice is broken, it kind of works out okay. So there's that to read into. A lot of people interact with it. In the interview we just had then, it was more of a sort of fear perhaps of it in general. But it could be something that was scary to you. Just think about how the water actually made you feel, and did you interact with it? How did you perceive the body of water, and do you think that is an accurate indication of the way that you view sex? So we're moving through the forest, and we get past the body of water, and we obviously see this structure. Now, in the interview that we heard just there, the structure was a shack, which isn't the most flattering thing in the world. The structure is supposed to indicate or symbolize how you view your family. So I've played this game with people who describe great domes, indicating that, the family is an incredibly strong and almost unbreakable part of their lives, or an unbreakable structure. Some people in their answer go into the structure and have a poke about and look around and go upstairs, which perhaps shows a very sort of healthy and constant interaction with one's family. Some people described decorated, highly decorated, these decorated sort of French facades, which would indicate that they see their family as something maybe very attractive or historical. Some people have even said that it's a historical structure, or it's like an ancient sort of stone structure. So then again, you've got that indication that maybe there's a symbolism of the family kind of going back in time, and stone is obviously a very strong material. What was your answer? And do you think it accurately represents the way that you see your family? And moving through again, we see the wall. Obviously, in the interview you heard just then, the wall is just there on the side of the road, which clearly was an unnerving thing. It's the reason they don't know why it's there that's unnerving. So the wall is supposed to indicate how you see death. With some people that I played this with, the wall goes all the way around the forest in their interview, and which would indicate that there's some sort of acceptance that death is just the be all and end all, and it absolutely surrounds us. Some people have talked about structures that they can go up to and see through, which might indicate that you think there is something potentially on the other side of death. Other people that I played with have described these huge kind of almost like a military base where there's some kind of war going on, some kind of battle, which might indicate that their relationship with death is something of a struggle, something that appears to be a very real threat. Yeah, really interesting, and I'd love to hear what your forests look like, and if you agree that symbolically, now I've given you the breakdown, you think that has any bearing on the way that you see life, your way through it, your attitude to sex, your family, and death. Thank you very much. I hope to see you soon.